Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And y'all, I want to come in and talk about something that I saw on social media today and weigh in on it. It's about a young single mother who, because of being depressed and overwhelmed by, the, the responsibility on her shoulders, that she ultimately committed suicide. Now, y'all, what made me want to do this story is first of all, at one time in my life, I was a young single mother as well. And also, one of my young family members had posted this story. And she explained how she could relate in some ways to feeling overwhelmed, forgetting sometimes because she is a mom and a mom's job is 24/7, that she forgets or has forgotten what it was to just be herself. And then she goes on to explain how doing it by yourself, making things happen, keeping things going, being on your grind, how it could be overwhelming. Now, normally, when young folks are posting things, a lot of times, as an older person who has raised kids, I don't insert my opinion because, first of all, they didn't ask for it. And then a lot of times, they don't appreciate hearing it. But when it's something like this, where you have personal experience and you want to tell this young person that what they're feeling is normal to feel overwhelmed, I just said, you know what? I'm going to take this chance this time and I'm going to let her in on how I felt. Let me use myself. So, what I told her is that when I was younger, I felt the exact same way, overwhelmed, wondering was I doing everything right? Um, the responsibility of it all sometimes got to be a bit much. Um, Forgetting who I was as a person, as an individual, because I was so focused on trying to be a good mother. I talked about how sometimes at night, after I put my son to bed, and I would be reviewing my day, preparing myself for the next day, and I would just realize, you know, I haven't had a moment to myself. The only time that, I do get a moment is when I'm showering or maybe getting dressed. And even within, if you're a mother, sometimes your kids will follow you to the bathroom door and lay outside the bathroom door until you get home. Till you get out, sticking their little fingers under the door. It could be a bit much. But I wanted them to know that that feeling that they have is normal because you're human. But how you handle it is where things differ. I remember when I was younger, I used to tell myself, yeah, you may feel like this, but you are the reason that this baby exists. It is your responsibility because you created him to give him the best life that you can. And for a while, that may mean putting him before yourself. And that's simply what I did. I dug down deep inside to that well of strength that my mother always told me that I had, and I depended on it at times when I was feeling low, like this young woman was. Now, I wonder, did this young woman have someone in her life that she could go to and just let loose, talk honestly about how she was feeling? And I can only assume that she didn't. because of what she did to herself. She committed suicide because those feelings were so much, it pushed her to do what she did. My only advice to young mothers is this: how I got through it. I made sure that my house was structured, that my home was, that there was a routine, that there was, expectations. I also elicited my kids' help once I had more than one into the running of the home. I gave them chores. No matter how young they are, there's something that they can help out with that takes a little bit of the burden off of you. Okay? I also tell young people that are mothers, it gets better. I'm not going to say that it gets easier, but it does get better because as your kids grow up, they're able to do more for themselves, which is a big help to you. But I do understand when you're the one who has to cook the meals, run the bath, and literally bathe them because they don't really know how to bathe themselves that well, you're doing everything. It is overwhelming. You are human and it's okay. But you know that old saying that it takes a village to raise a child? That is so true. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, reach out to the village. Let the village know where you are in your head, that you need help, that you're not handling it well. Some of us can dig deep into that well that we have, but some of us, we dig deep in the well, but we still come up feeling like we could do with a little bit of help. That is okay. I remember being young and feeling these feelings, but never telling anyone because I thought that the women in the family would say, well, you lay down and had the baby, it's your responsibility, in which they were right. So I thought that if I expressed that I was overwhelmed and sometimes I wanted to pack my shit and leave, that they would be like, this girl has flipped and lost her mind. She's crazy. So I never really spoke to anyone about it. I just found some way to keep it going, y'all, to keep it going. But that doesn't work for everybody. Clearly, when we have here a beautiful 21-year-old girl who, because she just could not take the responsibility, the weight that was on her shoulders trying to raise her children, that she thought the only way through it and out of it was to commit suicide. Now, what I am happy to know, and this is weird, is that because sometimes these women snap and not only kill themselves, but they kill the kids too. Or if they feel that the kids are the reason that they're unhappy, that they killed the kids. From everything that I read of this story, she was a good mom. She just she couldn't take the responsibility. It was too much, you know? So what I would say to young women is find you a village. Let someone know, you know? There is no shame in saying, hey, this is too much. I'm not coping with this well, you know? Because there is help out there. I remember being young and one of my friends was involved with, and the only way I can put it into one word is the state, where she let them know that she needed help. They got her babysitters. I think they helped her a little bit financially, and I don't know the program that she used. You got to think my son is 34 and my daughter's 26, so this was many moons ago. But I remember her even eventually getting Section 8. Now, that was down the line, and I don't know what happened, you know, where she was offered that. I don't know the particulars of the situation, but I know that it all stemmed from her telling them, hey, I can't do this by myself. I need help. And, they helped her. I even remember her going into some type of training that later on in life got her a better job, where she's basically doing really well now at the age that we are now, because back then when she saw that she wasn't handling it, she went and got help, you know? And those little things that they did for her were able to offer her some relief, where it allowed her to take a deep breath and say, okay, I have people there. I'm creating this village around me to help me through this. Because y'all, now this young 21-year-old woman is gone. Her kids will never know just how much she loved them, you know? And I don't know. She just was overwhelmed. And having been there myself, I just felt so sorry for her. It made me go back and think about how I felt. I had my son at 22 years old, and I was a college student that discovered that she was pregnant and had to drop out of college and have my baby and then get a job and take care of him. So it's like one day I was this college student, and the next day I was a mother, you know, having to do all the things that a young mom does to try to take care of her baby. So I understand. I told this young family member that I have that posted the story today, you know, that I understood, and that know that what she's feeling, don't think she's abnormal. And what I loved about this back and forth that we had today is that on her Facebook page, other mothers started chiming in. And eventually there was a long thread of mothers chiming in, talking about the struggles that they had and how, you know, they forgot what it's like to be themselves. But just hold on, you get through it. It does get better. And again, I'm not going to say that it gets easier, but it gets better, because we all know that raising kids, it's not an easy job. Not when you're trying to do it right, and you're trying to create well-rounded people, and you're trying to create a home environment that is conducive to raising that type of person. You know, stable financially, utilities on, extracurricular activities. It takes a lot to do that. It takes a lot for two people, let alone when everything is on you. I love that other mothers were giving her tips. Other mothers were saying, if you need help, just call. Never think that you're in it alone. As mothers, we understand. I loved that. I loved it. It didn't start off that way, but I guess like me, those other mothers were sitting there reading the thread and just felt compelled to comment. That's the village. That's the village stepping in to help her, offering her advice, offering her a couple hours here and there so she could just go get her nails done, get her hair done. Go hell, just sit in the park. Let the windows down in her car and just be alone with nature, staring at the sky, just so she can have some me time. You know, I loved it. Y'all, I just wanted to know if you saw the story, and if so, what do you think of it? How do you feel about it? It just broke my heart that this young lady just felt that there was no other recourse than to take her own life. And that just breaks my heart. She's a beautiful young woman, and she has some gorgeous sons. Her sons are so handsome, and now they will grow up without their mom. Wow. With that, y'all, thanks for listening to my video, and I look forward to reading your comments. You guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.